In this video, we're going to explore why you should not speak to Isobel in Baldur's Gate 3, specifically at the Last Light Inn. We'll explore some unique dialogue and encounters you can potentially discover if you take this route, so buckle up, grab some iced coffee, and let's visit the Shadow-Cursed lands in Baldur's Gate 3. When you arrive at Last Light Inn for the first time, Jaheira and your party will devise a plan to infiltrate Moonrise Towers. But given the dangers of the Shadow Curse, Jaheira will recommend speaking to their resident cleric Isobel, who can give us a blessing to help mitigate the effects of the curse. This is a trap. As soon as you speak to Isobel, you will trigger an attack on the inn by the cultist Marcus and a group of winged horrors. If Isobel is incapacitated during this fight, then the moon shield protecting the inn will fail, and every single NPC at Last Light will die, with the exception of Jaheira. But it gets worse. If you haven't completed Karlach's questline at this point, then it is permanently broken, because the tiefling blacksmith Dammon will be one of the casualties of the battle. It can also potentially break Halsin's questline and prevent you from lifting the Shadow Curse. However, there is a workaround for that one. If you use the Speak with the Dead spell on Art Calais, then you can obtain the information you need to progress the quest. Now I know what some of you are typing right now. Just defend Isobel during the fight and everything will be fine. Skill issue. Sure, it is technically possible to save Isobel if you kill Marcus and the winged horrors before they gank her, but it's an incredibly big risk to take without that big of a payoff. Also, even if you manage to save Isobel in this encounter, it's entirely possible that some of the other NPCs at the inn, like the lovable tieflings, will get killed in the ensuing battle. If you want to have a challenging fight with high stakes, then this can be incredibly fun. However, if you're trying to protect the most people possible while minimizing the downside risks, then speaking to Isobel just isn't worth it. Because ultimately, the blessing she gives you is practically worthless. Sure, it protects you in the areas beyond Moonrise, but you'll need to get a moon lantern eventually to safely traverse every area in the Shadow-Cursed lands. So why not just skip Isobel's mid-blessing and go straight for the lantern? There are some other downline benefits of taking this approach as well. Assuming you rescue Nightsong from the Shadowfell prison, then you can finally speak to Isobel without fear of Marcus attacking.
Who are you? And what are you doing here? I saw them flying. The Path of Light. They seemed headed straight for Moonrise Towers. This might all be over soon. But Ketheric won't go down easily. Rest here, if you need. Then finish this. None of us will be safe while Ketheric is alive.
This also makes the upcoming battles a little bit easier for you for several reasons. First, you will have a group of Flaming Fist and Harper reinforcements to aid you in the clearing of the first floor of Moonrise Towers. This will make the fight with Zrel and the cultists much more manageable. Second, you won't have to fight Marcus. Instead, you'll find him dead on the second floor of Moonrise Towers, just outside Balthazar's study, presumably killed by Ketheric for failing to retrieve Isobel. He met the same fate when I killed Isobel on my Dark Urge playthrough. And finally, Isobel will be safely free of her father, meaning you won't be fighting against her during phases 2 and 3 of Ketheric's boss fight. All in all, skipping the conversation with Isobel at Last Light makes all of this much easier to manage. Once Ketheric is finally defeated, Isobel and Dame Aylin will have a passionate reunion at the end of Act 2.
Aylin! Isobel! My love! You were dead! I saw your body! I'm here. And so are you. And my father, he can't hurt us any longer.
I dreamt every night that you'd come back to me. That somehow it was all a nightmare Dawn would undo.
I had no dreams at all. Nothing but darkness. And when I woke, my father said you were dead.
His soul was poisoned by the god of death. His sick devotion ruined him. but for all his sins, he brought you back to me. Are you all right?
I will be. And you?
In this moment, I want for nothing.
There you are. This is Aylin. Aylin, this is...
Oh, but we have met. This is the soldier that freed me most valiantly from the Shadowfell. They watched my boot crush the very brain of villainy, and fought well against your changed father.
May he rest in peace at last, now that he's dead. I have more to thank you for than I knew. And we have much to discuss. Perhaps we could join you in your camp later? I am. And I'm glad he's dead. But this is precisely what I want to speak to you about later. It'll keep. I promise. Very good. We look forward to it.
Now, you will leave us. We must take succor in one another's bodies and words.
Aylin! We'll see you later.
Isobel and Aylin will join our camp for the rest of the game, helping us in our journey to deal with the Elder Brain. We can speak with both of them and get some unique dialogue when we return to the camp.
I can't believe it. I can't believe Aylin is here. And my father. I heard what happened. What he'd become. By killing him. You set him free. You set Aylin free. And me. A great deal. But still, some of the details elude me. Ketheric Thorm was my father. He raised me to serve Selûne as my mother, rest her soul, had wished. He was everything to me, all my life. When an emissary of Selûne came to our little town, we were elated. Dame Aylin, daughter of the Moon Maiden herself. Tell me, do you believe in love at first sight? That's exactly it. And I tell you, I took one look at her and I just knew. She was it. Lucky for me, she felt the same way. But my father was skeptical. Aylin is immortal, after all. I understand it's strange. There's an imbalance between us, certainly. But I suppose loving Aylin felt the same as loving myself. It was natural. And this is where I still need answers. I died. I'm not sure how, why, but all was black. Next I knew, I was being jolted awake. I smelled musty air, I saw shadows. And then my father's face. So changed. So hideously warped. I didn't know that then, but I could see the change in him. He told me we'd be together now. Said that Aylin was dead. I couldn't speak. Could only run. I found last light within the shadows. Made a shelter there. Prayed my father wouldn't find me. By the time Jaheira came, I'd pieced together just enough to know I'd been dead 100 years. That my father was the source of the horrors plaguing this land. My home. I couldn't tell her who I was. I had to protect them. And myself. No matter what. It's all out in the open now. And with my father dead, I have nothing to fear. Except for Aylin. She needs healing. Rest. I'm grateful for your help. Your friendship. I hope we won't intrude on your hospitality too long. But I'm grateful for a safe place to... well... just to be. Look after my angel, of course. She's been through more than I can bear to think about. 100 years in the Shadowfell. 100 years being murdered by Sharans over and over. It fills me with a rage I can hardly contain. She's a formidable woman, my Aylin. But no one could escape such horrors unscathed. She's in my hands now, and I intend to help her through whatever's to come. We'll both of us stand by you when the time comes to put down the horror that threatens this city. We are your allies for life.
So there you have it. Why you should never speak to Isobel before freeing Nightsong in Baldur's Gate 3. If you like this video, be sure to subscribe to Big Dan Gaming for more BG3 and RPG videos. Big shout out to all the channel members for supporting my content. Until next time, this has been Big Dan. I should go.